to stay.
Hello and welcome back to Beyond Boards, a podcast dedicated to the actions and interests of skaters beyond skateboarding. My guest today, Jeremy Elkin, grew up in Montreal where he started skating as a young teen in the late 90s. During the 2000s, Jeremy put his name to a number of skate films including Low Def in 2008, Elephant Direct in 2010, Poisonous Products in 2011, and the Brodies in 2013, among others, before taking a job at Vanity Fair magazine, heading up their digital video arm. In 2017, he embarked on a documentary project centered around Eli Gesner's iconic New York Mixtape video, which eventually evolved into All the Streets Are Silent, focused on the convergence of hip-hop and skateboarding in New York City between 1987 and 1997. Since 2024, Jeremy has relocated to Tokyo, Japan, where he keeps working on countless rad video projects. So here's my conversation with Jeremy. I hope you'll enjoy it. Well, cool. Yeah, let's dive into these questions then. Let's see.
Around 1995, I gave one of our original Zoo York tag boards to a girl I was dating from Canada, the wonderful Jade Raymond, who famously would later go on to create amazing video games like Assassin's Creed. Jeremy, whatever happened to that skateboard I gave to Jade?
The board is in my parents' garage still, and it's not in the best condition, to say the least, but it's like waterlogged and, destroyed. But my brother wound up skating it, and then I skated it after him. But I don't think I skated it that long. I remember not liking it because it was... I think my brother had already kind of skated it to death, but I think I only had it a brief period of time. Then I wanted to keep it. I didn't want to... it was like a precious, New York memorabilia. So I think I skated it a little bit, and then it just stayed. It's been in the garage for like 25 years or something. No more. 30 years, I guess. Yeah. My brother is a graphic designer, and he went down to New York. He was going to New York all the time, and he interviewed for a job with Eli at Zoo York. I think it was like 90. I don't know, I'd have to ask him. Somewhere between 94 and 96. Eli thinks it's earlier, I think it's later, but my memory, I don't know. The point is, he didn't get the job.
Okay.
And that's like I don't think I had heard of Zoo York before that moment. I wasn't reading skate magazines until probably later, like 4 or 5 years later. I was just barely, at that point, I was like doing ollies and manuals. I didn't know what a pro skater was or anything, or the industry. It was just like a guy who makes skateboards in New York at that point.
Yeah. So like 94, if we're the same age, you were around 7, I guess. So did you? Yeah. So it means you were already skating at that time. You started that early.
As soon as I could stand up, my brother made sure I had a board under my feet. Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, so he was already like full on doing bonelesses over garbages when I was born, and doing like, artwork and DJing and whatever. And so he would just had this like little kid around and would just, he wanted me to learn how to skate so I could skate with him.
Awesome. Yeah. And so for the listeners who probably haven't figured that out, this question was from Eli Gesner. And so, I just wanted, before we move on to the next one, could you maybe tell us just about, connecting with Eli? When did you first maybe meet with him? And also, when did you guys start talking about All the Streets Are Silent? What became All the Streets Are Silent? And we'll talk about it some more later. But I think what I understand is it initially started as a project, like a kind of a documentary around a mixtape. And then it evolved into what it became. But can you tell us just about, connecting with Eli?
Yeah, I was living in the West Village. I just moved to an apartment. So this would have been 2012, 2013 maybe. Mm-hmm. And I was finishing Brodies. And it was, the whole idea with that was like, a lot of people that didn't really ever have, like real video parts in a video. I wanted, that was kind of like, everyone's getting older. It'd be cool to do a video with a lot of people who don't get, that weren't, that aren't like actively in videos basically and are still killing it, but they're not really filming or they're... Mm-hmm. I don't know, I was trying to get, I don't know, like sort of like a 90s thing. I was really, really into the 90s New York scene at the time. Yeah, I was finishing that, and then I've always hated the graphic design in my old skate videos. And I always struggled with them. And that one I knew was going to be the last one I was doing because I was burned out. And, you know, I thought it was, I don't know, good enough to put out. And so I asked Eli to make the hand style to kind of go with these guys, with the, you know, New Yorkers in it.
Right.
And, yeah, then it wasn't until probably, you know, we're hanging out for like a few years or something. And that was when I probably 2013, 14, moved to the West Village, right near his studio, and we would, you know, go grab a bite or whatever. And I think at one point I was just like, I just kept asking him questions for years about Mixtape. I was always curious about it. I didn't see Mixtape, for context, until way later. Mm-hmm. I don't think I saw Mixtape until like 2008 or something, or 9. I didn't see it back in the day. We didn't have access to it in Montreal. Those videos, a lot of people talk about their first videos being these like epic videos. I'm like, the only video that I could see in 2001 or 1999 was whatever was out at that time. There was no like, it's just the way what the skate shops got from the US or Europe.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, like Lost and Found comes out, we're watching Lost and Found. Like I'm not watching like Goldfish or something. There's no access.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I didn't see Mixtape until way later, and then I saw it and it was like, what? I was super inspired by it, and yeah, I just wanted to see and understand what was up with my biggest question was what's up with the Stretch and Bobbito show? How did he get connected with that? And he would answer questions and everything, but I never saw footage other than, of course, what's in Mixtape. And so we kind of made a deal, like if I digitize his footage and catalog it, maybe I could one day do something with it. That was sort of the arrangement. That was probably 2015 or 16. Mm-hmm. And then nothing really happened until probably around that same time, maybe just a little later. It's hard to remember exactly. But I remember being on a roof in the Lower East Side. It was like John Newport and a bunch of skaters and, you know, like Sunset, New York kind of thing. And phone rings and it's Ben from Zoo York. And he's like, we want to do a Mixtape anniversary video. And I was like, well, it's crazy timing because I just started digitizing Eli's stuff. But then it became super political, and like Zoo was so different at that point. Yeah, Eli and RB and those guys, like they're so disconnected from it. Like Eli probably at that point 15 years or whatever, however amount of time. And so, you know, they weren't really into it. And the way the budget was, it was Iconics, I think, that owned Zoo York at the time. And they, you know, the budget was laughable. Like, I know what it costs to pay talent for an interview, like someone like let's say Method Man or Fat Joe. Like, they're not going to sit down without 10, 20, 30 grand for 10 minutes or an hour, whatever it is. Wow. So the whole budget is like kind of that, or it was, you know, more than that, but it was not a lot. Okay. And I was like, how are you going to do a Mixtape documentary or anniversary with no rappers and no Eli or RB? And so nothing really happened with that, but I remember thinking, that's interesting. I was like, well, maybe there is a way to get these guys or something. And then I followed that, but that was probably a year of just a big question mark. I don't know if it's possible. Mm-hmm. And it took like probably a good year to 2 years to just look at all the footage, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was working commercial jobs and...
Were you working at Vanity Fair at this point?
This is after Vanity. This is at the end. I had left Vanity Fair.
Already, okay.
That was 2016. At the end of this would have been probably the end of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously, you know, the film came out and everything, but that first year or two, I mean, you don't really know what you're making.
Yeah, you figure it out as you go along, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is from Jeremy Pettit. So, okay, he said, back when I was filming for North 2, we stayed in Montreal for a month or so to film for the video. Through some mutual connections, you came skating and showed us some spots. You were pretty young at the time, but I think you already started filming, which is pretty rad. Especially for back then, before everyone could film on their phones like they do now. Was there anything in particular about those sessions that stands out to you still? Any tricks that went down, or just interesting memories of tagging along with a crew of older dudes who were on a mission to make a video? And also, is there anything specific that you'd learned while making skate videos that has crossed over into your filmmaking career now? And if so, what would be the main aspect that still works for you now?
First of all, Jeremy Pettit's amazing. Huge inspiration at the time. That was 2004 or 3 or 4. I had been filming a lot with Phil Nechtel, who's he's from Montreal, NDG. Amazing skater that never got the credit that he deserved, but a lot of people, that he's sort of in the same boat as a lot of skaters who just didn't. It's like once it starts to become a job, it's like less interesting.
Sure.
But yeah, he was like sponsored by Cliche and S and a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
But
okay.
And that's how I met. First time I ever met like Atiba and Justin Eldridge, Rodrigo TX. They were on the S tours because of Phil. But I also met Phil because of I also met Jeremy Pettit because of Phil. Same connection. But Phil, I think he was friends with Travis Stenger. Travis Stenger, I don't think he knew the other guys. So it was interesting because they were all coming into town, but then Travis wasn't there. And we had been hearing Travis and PJ Ladd were the two in Montreal that were like full on, like they were like these sort of like what Tom Penny is to most of the world, at that time.
Yeah.
Travis Stenger and PJ, they would come to Montreal and they would skate and blow people's mind and leave and not film anything kind of thing, Trying to think of how to answer this. Basically, Phil, we go to meet up with them. I think pretty sure we met up at Peace Park. And it was like Russ Milligan, Wade Fyfe, Mike McDermott, Mitch Sharon.
Okay.
Another one of the North guys, probably Dylan Doubt and Jeremy. But Travis wasn't there. So I was like, I knew I had met Russ in San Francisco already on a trip at that time. I mean, I was super young, but I remember that he was filming for his 4-in-1. And so I knew him, but I didn't know the other guys. And I didn't really know how good these guys would be. But it was like, I don't think until that time I had really seen pro skaters like that or like really talented, just casually messing around with like really hard tricks and almost getting them type skaters.
Yeah.
So it was super inspiring. And then Jeremy, the filmer, showing up with like serious lens on a Bolex and multiple VXs and just like media, and it just was so professional. I hadn't seen that. I had seen, not to take anything away from the Montreal filmers, like Eric Lebeau is amazing, these other filmers, but that was like it wasn't in the same universe.
Different level,
so that was super inspiring. And we went from Peace Park to the West End, where I grew up, to a place called Westmount Park. And Russ battled a trick for a while, but I never saw the footage of that. And I remember the biggest takeaway was Mike McDermott was back lipping a ledge. I don't think I'd ever seen that before. Like, I thought it was a handrail trick in videos. I don't think I'd seen it in a video on a ledge. Okay. On not double-sided, like just a regular ledge.
Yeah, sure.
And he was balancing it and going super fast and sliding 10 feet. It was super, like, what? I can't even believe it. Like, I thought it was uncool, but he was making it look so good.
Yeah.
It was confusing. So that was a big moment. But just hanging out with those guys, I mean, I was I guess looking back, not that much younger, because I think Russ and Wade are like they're probably like in their early 40s. They're probably only a few years older than me. But at the time, it felt like a huge gap because I probably would have been like 17 or something. Yeah. And they were like 22.
24. Yeah.
It wasn't that big, but they just, they're wearing like a shirt I've never seen and shoes I don't think I had seen. And it was just different. Like, they're wearing things that you can't get. We didn't have in Montreal or even New York. I don't think I had seen. So it was just like a different type of skateboarder, And they're also, I should mention, they're going so fast. And Jeremy's like running around trying to get it. It was just like a different vibe, Like I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
And then what seemed like forever before the video came out, but then it was wound up being like, I think it's the best Canadian video that's ever been made, that one.
Yeah.
But super fun to be there for the sessions. I remember there's a clip of Russ switchback smithing a ledge, and I'm in a van with Mike McDermott buying a used board for like $5 or something.
Awesome.
But just like memories from that time. But I don't know, it's hard to answer his question, like takeaways. I mean, that was just everything. It was, input. It was every person I was meeting, or especially filmers and photographers, I was trying to take in as much as I could.
Mm-hmm. And he asked about if there was anything that you learned while you were making skate videos that has crossed over into your filmmaking career now. Do you have anything that comes to mind? I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff, whether conscious or not, but...
I don't know. I mean, clean the lens.
Yeah. Well, I think you just mentioned this guy who asked the next question, Michael Fyfe. So he said, buddy boy, back in our early 20s, landscaping with your mom, best boss ever, and then trying to film a clip after, I was on one so much on my 2-year weekend after moving to Montreal that I ended up getting pancreatitis, real talk. Meanwhile, you were running the play, setting goals and checking them off, grinding like you had a mortgage at 20. What's one moment or story from those days, maybe something no one else knows, that really shows how you managed to stay so focused and resilient when everything around us was a bit crazy?
I mean, one thing is like that should be said is that like Mike Fyfe is from Ottawa, the Fyfes are from Ottawa, you know, Seb Lebeau is from Ottawa, like Tori Goodall's from Vancouver. All these guys moved to Montreal. At that time, it felt like it would be insane to not film them or skate with them a lot. We would skate flat ground like for hours. It was just so fun having like different people there, I guess, like living there. Because the late 2000s, the scene was so, to me, it was pretty dead. I mean, no, there weren't that many skaters, not like now, or not like even 10 years ago. It felt like a lull. Like if you think about the early 2000s until now, that's like kind of a dip. You know, there was like no sponsor deal, it was just like nothing. You know, like the shoe companies hadn't really, at least not in Canada, come in yet, Nike and Adidas and stuff. It was very primitive. And so having guys like that, like Mike, who's amazing, and Tori, who's hilarious, and just like really new styles and skating different spots. I don't know, it was super fun. It was like easy to get inspired, I guess, being around those guys, you know? Because I had been filming with the guys in Montreal for years at that point. So it felt like a next wave sort of thing. And also, it's also interesting that Dime was taking off. It was called Dime Store at the time, but Dime was like really about to take off. And a lot of those like super close friends of mine, like Bob and Charles growing up, like those guys were really filming for the Dime videos. And then I was sort of like more, I don't know, a lot of those people that I used to film with were not around anymore. Or people move or get over skating. And like my homie Phil I mentioned before, like he was like my biggest inspo growing up. Like Phil's the best. He didn't skate as much, and so it's like I want to keep filming, I want to keep skating, but you know, friend groups change and evolve. So that was a big part of it. And then Fyfe just like moves right there, and I had met him through Seb way before then, when we were younger, and it was just cool to have them all in the same neighborhood and going to Concordia. And Tori and Fyfe, I think Fyfe, you have to, I don't know, I think he was going to Concordia, but Tori was for sure, Goodall. But yeah, landscaping, my mom is a landscaping business in Montreal. Okay. It's like big homes with, you know, like big backyards with like a pool or whatever, and we did all the, you know, like lay the earth, plant all the beds of flowers for the client kind of thing. And all of her employees, even till now, are people from the Montreal skate scene. So she's employed like
awesome
everybody. Yeah. Like Price Holmes, Tori, McGraw, Fyfe, Brian Shannon, who's one of the Dime guys, Charles Rivard, Kyle McDonald. Like there's probably like 30 people. I'm blanking on others, but
let's see. This one's from Leo Gutman. He said, "What's up, Hevs? We have talked about how when you filmed all of your New York-based skate videos, you were working non-stop and skating after work or at nights. Though this period of time, you managed to make some of your best skate video work, and it seems to have come somewhat organically and naturally. My question to you is, do you miss anything about this process or time period? Do you reflect on this time period in a purely nostalgic way, or do you try and replicate any sort of process from that time and adapt it to your life now?"
Yeah, it's just nostalgic, I guess. I mean, it was scrappy, like super broke in New York, making videos when I'm not working. I don't know, I always feel like I'm not doing enough or something. Like I need to be doing like another, whatever it is. Like I was working at a cafe, Snice, where a lot of skaters worked in New York.
I read, I think it was, you did an interview with Slam City Skates. You mentioned that in there. Yeah, I think, I don't remember who, but I interviewed someone who worked there as well for a bit. Maybe it was Josh Stewart or someone else, I don't remember.
I mean, Bobby Puglio's worked there, Josh Stewart, De La Torre, Yage, Dustin. Like there was like so many. I'm probably blanking. Aaron Herrington, obviously, like a lot of people. Yeah. But yeah, like I'd work at the cafe 3 days a week, you know, for 6 or I don't even remember how long the shifts were, 8 hours or something. And then, I mean, in the morning, I'm probably I mean, I think at that time I was like learning about music a lot and like reading and I don't know, doing whatever. And then work at the cafe, and then after work go skate, or in between work on a client project or something. I mean, it was packed, but it wasn't that, I don't know, looking back, it didn't feel that crazy. It felt like I was always could have been doing another project on top of whatever it was.
Okay.
I don't know, but it was that was a different time because I was like, than Montreal, because the footage I was filming was being split up so much more. In Montreal, I would always fight for the footage, except for a couple instances, but it just like New York was kind of like I'm filming, and then sometimes I made a couple videos, but there was way more footage that I didn't put out, someone else put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Polar and Bronze and JP's video and blanking on videos, but yeah, Static obviously.
Static, yeah, I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah, like all of Aaron's best footage was for Josh, and a lot of Aaron's footage went to Pontus.
I just wanted to stop 1 second on Aaron, because if I understood correctly, you kind of introduced Aaron to Josh, right? Is that how he got involved in doing Static?
Yeah.
So how did you connect with Aaron? Was it through the work at Snice, or just the skate community out in New York, or?
No, before I was on a skate tour in 2000, I think 6, maybe 7, with De La Torre, and De La and Aaron were, I think, maybe not living together, I don't remember, but in San Francisco they were skating together a lot. And then De La moved to New York, and then Aaron moved. I think I ran into De La or told him that I was moving there, and he's like, oh, my homie Aaron just moved like the same month. Like I think we moved the same month, but maybe I had moved a little before him, whatever. Like we were, around the same time in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I know Aaron. But I mean, it's basically the same thing with like a lot of those Static videos. Like I remember CN, who's a filmer from Boston, was trying to convince Josh to look at Kevin Coakley footage before Kevin was like, in any sort of like
on
video like
blueprints
that.
And stuff. Like was that around that time?
Yeah, I think he was before. This would have been when he was like tall tees probably.
Okay.
But he was like sending him footage. You should do a part with Kevin, and then they did Static 3, but it was a similar thing. Like I just had a few really good clips of Aaron that I thought would be good for Josh's next video. But this is like 5 years before, 4 or 5 years before.
Because it came out in 2014, 4. I think, yeah.
I think 2008 or 9, I wanted to give him footage, but then he was like, just use it because the next video is he was working on the MIA video, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, I think he said at the time, like, just use it because my Static is still so far out, and it wound up being like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
But so then Aaron, I was filming a lot with him, and then the Poisonous Products video came out, and that was, I think, what tipped it over the edge. Like, Josh was like, all right, we should do something with him, and then I think 6 months later, I think he told me first that he wanted Aaron to have a part, and then he told Aaron, and then we just started filming. We just started giving all Josh his best footage.
Just before we move on to the next one, I just wanted to ask you about just moving to New York, because like we're pretty much in that time frame now, and what kind of made you want to move out to New York? Like you said earlier, you went there quite a lot, I'm sure, throughout the years, being so close, in Montreal, it's like an 8-hour drive or something, or
6, 7, yeah.
But yeah, like what kind of made you decide to leave Montreal and settle down in New York?
I don't know. New York is just like a big shiny version of Montreal a little bit. It's like right there. It's still East Coast. It's just like a more advanced. In my head at the time, it was like this is the next step. Like I didn't want to. I had been out to California a lot for skating. Not a lot, but I don't know, 5 times or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't interesting. I wasn't going to move there. New York was much more interesting to me, and I didn't even think I realized Josh lived there. Like I thought he lived in like Philly or somewhere else. But I just remember going there more and more and more and being like, everyone lives here. Like everyone that I want to hang out with lives here. Montreal was, there's a few turning points. Like one, I got beat up pretty badly in Montreal. I don't know if that's one of the questions, but from someone, but
I think someone mentioned, I think that came up later. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like that moment where like, I got pretty badly beat up downtown, and like, there was probably like 3 or 4 events that happened where I was just like, I need to
change
switch,
scenes.
just switch it up. It felt like, and also the Elephant Direct video was like the one I had been wanting to make during the 2000s, and it sort of culminated with that. Like I like when I look back at the skate videos I worked on, like Elephant Direct and the Brodies are the two like complete videos, and then the rest are sort of like not. It's like a half an idea of it. Those were the two I was like the most proud of, and so the Elephant Direct one was kind of like, I don't think I can make a better Montreal Canadian video. Like I don't think it's possible. Like at that time, like I just I don't know. It didn't seem, and also like there's brands starting, the studios starting, and Dime is taking off, and like all the skaters they have to give footage to them. Like I'm not a priority. Like I'm not paying. I'm not a company. I want to keep filming skating, and all my favorite footage I get at that time was in New York. Yeah, I don't know. That was the priority, was just making more videos. But then when I got there, I was like, oh, Josh lives here. Like, I'm definitely gonna at least try to get. And I remember thinking we like go to breakfast, and I'm like, yeah, if you ever do a static, he's like, yeah, I'm doing a static video, but it's gonna take a long time. I think I told him. I think in my head I was just like, I'm gonna just save all the footage I get for static. Like, I don't need to make my own videos. So I have like the best editor who lives 2 blocks away from me making the best videos. If I film the local scene or whoever he needs, I'll just doesn't matter, Yeah. To me, that was like the most interesting thing at the time, was like helping Josh with static.
Yeah, and him kind of mentoring you a little bit, I guess.
For sure. Oh, I kind of thought of a Mike Fyfe one, of something I've never told anyone.
Okay, yeah, please.
Mike would love this one, because he's in Elephant Direct, but I met Ty Evans for the first time in 2016, I think, or 17. And he was like, you made Elephant Direct. I'm like, how did you even know? And he's like, yeah, because him and Rick Howard and Carol and a bunch of the girl guys were, I think that year, they were the panel for the Trans World Awards. And Elephant Direct was up for independent skate video, full length or something.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I didn't win it, but they all voted for it, and then it didn't win. I was like, that's pretty crazy that you guys watched it because of that. And and I had forgotten that it was even like nominated for anything or for that. But
that's awesome.
That was super cool.
Wow.
So that was like a good way to meet him. It was like, felt really good that they had all seen it and they liked it. It was like, it was cool.
Doesn't get much better than that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was super hyped. And they didn't mention, actually Fyfe will laugh, but they didn't mention Fyfe's part, but Ty was like, we all love the first part, which is McGraw.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This next one I have is from, so this guy is Julien Januszkiewicz. So he's French, he's from Bordeaux. He's a local filmer and filmmaker, and he works a lot with the Magenta crew. He's good friends with like Leo Valls and a bunch of other people. And he does a series of videos called Bordeaux Exposure. I met him a couple years ago, and he was like, whenever you do an interview with Jeremy Elkin, I want to submit a question. So I kept my promise because he's a big fan of your work. So he said, can you share a moment during filming that was particularly challenging or unexpected? The second one is, were there any underground skate videos or zines that shaped your taste early on?
Yeah, thanks. It's super nice to hear. Challenges, I mean, anytime a camera breaks during a session when you're with really good skaters, you can be on a session with a lot of people, but maybe you're only working with like one skater on a project or something, and the rest are like homies or whatever. When the camera breaks, it's not the end of the world. But when you're out there with like some of those New York nights in the early 2000s, like there was a new spot in Midtown, and I was filming John Newport for Static 4, right, or 5, whatever the clip, the footage was in. I think it was Static 5, the New York section. And in the background, there's like Austin Gillette, Dylan Reeder, Tim O'Connor, De La was there, I think, Keith Denley, like a bunch of people. But it's just like so many amazing skaters at it, just sitting there, Curtis Rapp was there, I think, like people like that, like really interesting skaters that maybe if they're really feeling the spot, and it's a brand new spot, it's all marble, no bus. If the camera breaks, if that happens at that time, it's the worst. Yeah. And it happened a couple times like that, where like a microphone flies off or a lens break, and you're just like, I started carrying around 2 VXs a lot because of that. So those are moments I can, that's like a big challenge is like gear tech. I find in those days it was like, stores. It's 1 a.m. Like, you run out of tapes or something. I always brought extra everything because batteries.
You never
for
know
light,
how the session is gonna turn out.
Yeah, the light batteries was another one, or like things like Band-Aids or like whatever, like something to make it a little bit more comfortable when you're in the street.
Yeah. And so what about underground skate videos or zines that kind of shaped you early on? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I love Last of the Mohicans and Lost and Found and Static 2 and North 2. Those are like the best underground, the Lords video.
Yeah. What was it called? They Don't Give a Fuck About Us, I think?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that was very good. Underground. The best ones are the ones that feel homemade. Even Mosaic, like Habitat's not underground, but the video felt like it could be. There's probably others I'm blanking on. I love all the early Peter Sadlauskas videos. The Bronze video before Bronze. Like, what was it called? Flip Mode. All those Flip Mode videos. I like videos where it's a complete picture and you're kind of entering someone, like a world that someone's shot, and edited. Like, those are the best videos. Any video where it's like a video from, I don't know, insert name of town, but then there's a Barcelona section. It's like, who cares about, why are you putting that in this otherwise perfect video?
Yeah.
So like with Elephant Direct, with that video, or any video that I did, there'd always be one of the skaters that goes to Germany or England or Barcelona, usually Barcelona, or China. Like Russ went to Seoul, and he was like, here's Seoul footage. I'm like, it's cool, but like, why would it ever go in this video?
Yeah, it doesn't fit with everything. Yeah.
Makes no sense. So I don't know, I'm a purist, I guess, but the best videos are just like, you can just tell that it's that there's a structure and that the editor sticks to the structure. As soon as it goes outside of it, unless it's like Josh's videos, like Static's different, but because he had a specific look and he would go film. But it's just those videos where it's a hodgepodge. Like, it's like, how is this like a unique voice? It's just, you're just making a foreign one.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Okay, this next one is an audio one.
Hi, Quentin. Thanks for asking me to take the time to ask this question. It's kind of fun, but I've always been curious to ask Elkin if he did enjoy his time filming all of Poisonous Products with all of the different characters that were involved. And I know I dragged them to Queens and Brooklyn specifically throughout that project, but just ask him that if he enjoyed that time. I definitely did. It was my first time meeting him and doing something as cool as that, and let me know how it goes. Good luck, man. It sounds awesome.
Joseph
Delgado. Yeah.
It's a weird one to answer because Poisonous Products is the Brodies. It's the same video, it's the same time period.
Yeah.
So, like, part of Akira's part in Brodies was filmed during the Poisonous time, and it's all one thing. Joseph's part, it's like the best. That's like, the McGraw part and the Joseph part are probably, Akira maybe are the three favorite parts I've made. Yeah, I can't even remember. Like, the only real part in Poisonous was Joseph, and then the rest was just like footage that I wasn't saving for Brodies or Static. It was a line. It got strung together and we used it and we just made a video with all lines, So I don't know. I'm trying to think. Rob. It's all the same people from Brodies. It's like Rob, Akira, German. Who else is in it? I might have to rewatch it. Aaron, Herrington, obviously. Leo. But yeah, it's the best. It was super fun to go to everyone's neighborhood where they grew up. I always thought that was like super important. And I felt like I failed doing that with Elephant Direct.
Okay.
Like McGraw's part, I didn't go to Nova Scotia or Boston, like where he's from. Or Russ, I didn't film Russ in Vancouver for that or whatever. Like, I was really like Montreal based and people would come in. And when I moved to New York, I remember thinking it'd be so much cooler if like I'm going to Rob Campbell's old high school or something to go film him.
Yeah.
And so tried to do that as much as possible. Same thing with like Leo was living in Staten Island, go down to Staten on the boat and film him there because it's just way more authentic. It's like something he passes every day. And like Leo's last trick is that kickflip into the roller coaster thing because that's in Staten Island near his near where he was living. And it's just way more personal. It felt like the only option a bit with New York, especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joseph, Queens, the Globe, Flushing, always meet at the Globe, and he was killing it at that time. He's the best.
This one's from Eric Lebeau. Pretty simple question, but I said, how many mini DV tapes have you used throughout the years? It's probably impossible to hundreds, I'm sure, or thousands maybe.
It's tricky question because I used to focus the tapes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For a few reasons. People used to like...
I think someone asked about this, I think...
Yeah, like there's a few I was shooting so much skating that or filming so much skating that if I know for a fact there's a tape that there isn't anything I'm going to ingest, it's a waste of time. It's just garbage. Like I don't want to see it, because it's just less work. Like I used to digitize the tapes every night after filming, every single day. So I'd be up not sleeping that much. The less tapes, the better, especially if I know I'm marking each one. And the ones where there's nothing, if I have nothing to mark, it's garbage. So I'd usually throw it out or just break it or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Or if I mess up filming something, I used to do that too. I'd mess up filming a trick and I'd just break the tape, just do it again. It's crazy, but I mean, I don't know. It felt like it's also therapeutic because you're in the hot sun trying to be a human tripod for 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's not that fun when you film for 40 minutes and you don't get anything. You just break the tape. It's like breaking a board or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah. Exactly.
The tapes I know I've probably filmed somewhere in the 400 to 600 tape range for Elephant Direct. Low def probably less, probably 200 or something. And then Poisonous less. Well, then it gets complicated because New York in my storage I have probably 5 boxes maybe.
Okay.
Big boxes. But that's everything. That's so many projects. It's not just my skate videos. It's all the stuff I film. But it's all digitized and itemized by date in an archive. Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot of...
So I don't know. I don't look at the tapes. The ones from the Canada days are all in at my parents' place. And then my New York ones are in the New York storage. And that's it. I don't have any here in Tokyo. Yeah.
Okay. This one's from Aaron Herrington. So he said, what were some of your favorite times filming in NYC over the years before you retired the VX? And now that you've retired your VX, what is in store for you now?
What were some of the best memories, you said?
Favorite times filming in New York? Yeah.
I mean, late night, New Year's Eve. There's a clip of him. He does tray flip on flat, gap front board in Midtown. The spot's called FedEx, but it's a gap to a high out ledge. People skate. Sometimes Rick Howard does switch nose manual on the middle part.
Okay.
That night, I'm pretty sure that's midnight, New Year's Eve, 2010 to 2011. Sorry, 2011 to 2012 because he was buying Converse at that time.
Okay.
Now he's on Converse, but
he
he was buying Converse. I don't know why or who he was on before, but Huff. Anyway, so that line is a good memory because it's Midtown is dead. Everyone's going to Times Square for New Year's Eve. Freezing cold out, and we're just skating the spot alone, and I love those middle of the night Midtown was the best. We did a lot of it. Me and Aaron covered almost every street in the 5 boroughs together. Wow. Me, Aaron, and Leo. Middle of the night Midtown sessions, and especially in the winter, those are the best.
Why do you think out there? Because there was no one around. Because it was such there was a different feeling overall being in the middle of the night, or
yeah, it's just it felt maybe a set or something. The light, the steam from the grates, it just I don't know. It's the most New York stereotypical New York thing, I guess. But
yeah,
it sort of has the most soul maybe in the clip. I don't know. I love when the fisheye wraps buildings and the frame becomes really condensed, and so at night it just adds to it. It's just the shadows and it just looks amazing. And the sound too. The sound is just so much better at night because it's so quiet.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, he asked what was in store for you now, and we'll get to that later. Like, do you have anything that comes to mind, like retiring the VX and what's in store for you now?
I mean, yeah, no more VX, that's for sure. I don't know. I'm not super inspired to. I've just been, I guess, in the last year, I've been pretty like low on inspiration for filmmaking. I don't know. I feel like I've done a lot of the projects I wanted to do, so it's just figuring out the next thing. But I've been developing a couple more feature-length documentaries, and those are great. They're just really slow. Yeah, that's probably the next thing.
Okay.
Next independent thing, non-commercial thing.
This one's from. So this is not really a question. It's more just something maybe you can comment on. It's from Rob Campbell.
Oh my God, Rob Scramble.
He said, I remember meeting Jeremy in my hood. He was filming with a bunch of cats at Hillcrest High School Banks and just happened to show up with my filmer to film some stuff where I filmed the 50 grind on the window ledge. And then after I was done, he asked me for my number. I gave my number and then we started some Before Poisonous Products. So that's it. That's not really a question, just kind of how you guys connected, I guess. But
I mean, I had met him before. He doesn't. He's like, I saw him at the bank. I mean, yeah, for years. But he just like, I kept people like that. I just kept my distance. I have no interest in getting too close to. It's just like they're like, I just would rather them just like skate. They don't need to like let them film with their local filmer and like, he's just like he's like ultimate New York head. But at that time, I must have been with Joseph, and that's interesting that that's how he remembers it. I don't remember that moment. I just remember him at the banks in the early 2000s. We'd go down and film, and he was always there, either biking or skating. Yeah, he was BMX.
Oh, okay.
Rob's the best. Just such sick style. Oh my God. Also, like funniest. This is the funniest guy. Yeah.
Well, kind of on that same time period, German Nieves asked the next question. He said, Brodies video, who was your favorite to film and what made you want to film the lineup in it?
Yeah, like I was saying before, is a lot of people I felt like they didn't have their video part yet. Like Leo was in the Green Diamond video and all those local New York videos throughout the years. And maybe EST, the last one, I don't know, he would have been really little. I wanted to make a part with him. Akira, same thing. He was in Mixtape too, but he didn't have like a full, well-rounded, like not long form, but like proper video part.
Okay.
It was always like felt like not an afterthought, but just like he wasn't. I don't know. I wanted to film like a part that he was super proud of. Same thing with German. He would have been in the Justin White video, New Thirsty, I think it's called.
Okay, I remember that.
I think he was in that, but I think he shared a part with Andy Bautista, maybe. Like a lot of these guys were in like the Chapman video, and there's all these like local New York videos, but I'm blanking on others, but quarter sax clips or whatever. But none of them, I don't think, had ever had like a proper part. And then the shared part was Jordan and Supa and Daniel Kim.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, that was the reasoning, was just like sort of, there are all these people I was already filming with, and I was like, it doesn't matter how long it takes, it'd be great if they all had a part, and they were all friends anyway, so it was like, I was just...
Makes sense, yeah.
Felt like the right time, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't remember Daniel Kim, and I love how he stomps his switch trays, like all his tricks basically, but like his switch trays specifically, I was like so explosive and like popped super high. It was really dope. I really liked it. Yeah.
He should have been in the DGK videos. Like he was on DGK. I don't know. You have to ask him, but I don't know. He should have been in those videos. Like he was as good as all those guys.
Yeah.
At that time, and never got the shine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's cool to film people like that instead of like insert name of a skater who has like 5 photos in every Thrasher.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Charles Lamb asked the next question. He said,
Damn.
The Brodies video is one of my favorite all-time skate videos because of the skaters, the spots, and the music. Every borough, including Staten Island, was in there. Because I'm close with a few people in the video, I want to know what were some of your favorite moments filming for the Brodies, and did adding the soundtrack inspire/lead you to want to pursue something like All the Streets Are Silent?
Yeah, probably linked. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like the Brodies is, you know, still going to the Globe at Flushing and going to Staten with filming Leo, or the Bronx with Aaron, or, you know, just pushing. We used to skate like, you know, 100 blocks and just hit every spot, and probably the same way they were doing it in the 90s for those videos. It's the same style. It's just use, you know, one avenue as like your path and then go to the side and find spots. But me and Aaron were doing a lot of spot research at the time, and I had a spot book on my phone, and yeah, like a good example is like I'd be in, you know, we'd be in Maspeth or something, me and Aaron, and I'd see something and he doesn't want to skate it. I'm like, I got to bring someone here. Like it's so sick or whatever. And so we'd drag whoever to a spot, and sometimes they'd skate it and sometimes they wouldn't. But I don't know, I was always like never satisfied with skate spots. And I felt like unless you're filming like a plaza skater like Kalis or Mike Carroll or something, that's like one style of skating. Like Joseph with the Globe, like he's from Flushing, not Flushing, but he's from Queens, near, like where A Tribe Called Quest is from, Linden Boulevard. You know, a spot like the Globe is one thing, but most other skaters, unless they are strictly identifying with like they're known for skating Tompkins or I don't know, whatever, you know, the Banks or something. Like that's one thing, but most people, it's like it's so much more interesting if there's like a visual, just like more exploration, I guess. And the architecture is like always changing, and the style of spots are changing, and it's just things that aren't. The idea of the independent video is like show something new. Otherwise, what's the point?
Definitely.
So I guess I got that from watching Josh's videos growing up, or like being exposed to Lost and Found at a young age or whatever. But I like the idea of like you go to independent skate video premiere at the time, or even now. I want to see visually something different than what companies are doing or what's in the magazines. It's just like super basic concept, but so I just took that to heart, I guess. And those videos are all, kind of reflective of that, I guess, that idea.
Yeah. This next guy, let's see, this is from Dan Magee. So he said, coming from skating and following your career and social media over the past few years, you seem to be fully immersed in hip-hop and Jamaican dancehall culture. Aside from the obvious use of skaters using and listening to these genres in skate videos, at which point in your life did you actually spawn such a deep interest in these scenes? And how did you become so involved with them on such a specifically scene level as a creator of each?
The Jamaica thing is funny. Like my sister was married there, and my dad's side has family there. And so there's always a connection. One of the cousins was actually living in New York as well, but he's from Montego Bay. But yeah, it sort of ties into like, I guess being in New York, like if we're talking about Jamaica specifically, Stretch Armstrong will do a block party and he'll play roots reggae, dub, whatever, like echo chamber dub, like Scientist. I don't know, like that was always, it was super foreign to me, and I just was super, just really curious about it. There was a few events that happened. This is a while ago, but then it kind of lingered. I've been developing a feature-length documentary in Jamaica.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I still don't know if we can make it. Like, it's like tied up in a lot of legality and copyright and family drama estates and all sorts of stuff. I went down on 2 scouts in the last year, both for 2-week periods, throughout the island, the whole, in the mountains, the whole thing, with like reggae legends and some like gangsters and just like people from record labels and studios that are either defunct or still active, like a mix. And it's sort of like, to me, the ancient Egypt of the music industry a bit. It's like there's a lot of like so much history, and I don't know, I feel like it's under captured, like it's not documented as much as other scenes, and this is pretty scarce when it comes to like looking up footage from 1972 of King Tubby or something. And I guess it's just, it's like genre hopping, or something. It's like hip hop, I have a pretty good handle on like hip hop stories and history. And then I'm really deep into 1950s to 70s jazz right now, New York scene.
Okay.
But then also the dub roots reggae scenes in Jamaica, specifically 75 to 83-ish. Super fascinating to me. And so it's just like following my interest, but this is just hobby. I mean, it's like it's not like commercial work. It's just strictly like, oh, I'm interested in it. I'm like, let me go check it out.
Yeah, learn more about it.
Same way I moved to New York, like I wanted to find a skate spot in Queens. It's the same thing. It's like, where's, Black Arc Studios that Lee Scratch Perry had in Kingston? I want to go see it. Even if it's just a pile of rubble, I want to go. Like, why not? It's such a quick flight from New York. So that's sort of how that started. But the project down there, like, I can't really talk about it yet, but I do have a book coming out, a photo book coming out in September.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Of specifically Jamaica. I'm super proud of it. It was from The Last Scout. And there's a publisher here in Japan that saw what I was working on. They were like, we should put it out, kind of thing. And so but it feels super incomplete because there's no film yet. It's just research right now. I'm not someone that like gets interested in something and then I'll just make the thing. Like, I have to think about it for like 10 years before I do it. I want to know everything and then I'll make it. I don't want to make it and then find out later. So that's Jamaica's just another one of these projects where it's like they just get like, that's obviously it's super dangerous. It's like there's a lot of unknown with it, but it's also what makes it interesting. Same way like housing development in the Bronx is interesting, but probably not the best place for like a white dude from Canada to go film skaters,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like interest, I guess. But Magee is hilarious. Yeah. It's cool. It's gonna be announced in like a week or two with the publisher. So yeah, it's really different. I guess that's the other thing is I'm always I get really tired of doing the same thing over. I don't understand people who are like, just do one thing and then that's it. Like I just want to do a million things. So that's how my head works. So like Jamaica, music history project sounds amazing. Just do it.
Yeah, it does.
Or at least try to do it. I've failed doing a lot of things before, so it could be a fail. It could be something that comes out, but at least the book will come out as like a scout book.
So when is it coming out? Did you say? Is it after the summer or?
September 12th in New York, and then September 25th there's going to be a gallery show in Tokyo.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I look forward to that. That seems super interesting. All right, let's do this other one.
Happy belated birthday, Jeremy. We go way back, so I'm going to take a stab at this, but this is kind of hard to narrow down. Bear with me. So, aside from pioneering the modern skate video for short attention spans, one of my favorite things about your output over the years has been hearing all the behind-the-scenes stories and experiences you've had, especially deep in the projects, like some of the places you've been, some of the people you've met. It's just incredible. Some funny ones, too, for sure. More of a comment than a question, but from one person who appreciates a unique spot to another, what's one that sticks out in your mind as a spot discovery you made that might be well known today? And of all the people you've shot over the years, from Caitlyn Jenner to Yajay Popson and everyone in between, who's someone you wish you could have worked with more and why? No likely answers. Thanks, Jer.
Color Magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Sandro. There's a few people that definitely Josh Stewart, Sandro. Like there's these people along the way. Raj was the first. Then Sandro, then probably Jesse from WeSC, and then Josh Stewart. Like, without those four people, like, I wouldn't have made anything. Or my work probably wouldn't have been seen or something. Like, those guys Sandro's a big part of that. He always featured my stuff in the magazine. And you kind of need someone like that to, get your book. At least at that time, the distribution was much more important than it is now, where you can everyone has an account. But, yeah. The spot that's famous that I discovered, or I think I discovered, there's one in Montreal that a lot of people have skated now that I'm pretty sure... I don't think I discovered it, though. I definitely was the first to film something on it. I brought Sean Williams there from Traffic. The clip was in Moving in Traffic, the Traffic video.
Yep.
He ollies over a rail at the top of the rail into the bank, and it was in a photo annual skateboarder magazine, which was a huge moment. I was like... I found a spot, or I think someone told me there was a spot in that area, and then I found that. I don't remember, but it definitely was the first to film it. And I brought Dan Matthew, who shot the photo, which was in Skateboarder. it felt like I did something for skateboarding because found the spot, brought someone who's a really super dope skater to Montreal who did something on it that was good enough for it to be in the traffic video and in a photo annual. I was like, that's like, I felt good, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably others that I found. I mean, definitely all those like Westmount Montreal spots in my neighborhood, but I didn't really find them. I was for sure the first person to film there, but I didn't find them. There were generations before that found them. It's just they weren't filming.
Okay.
But like I was bringing the North guys to some of them, but I wasn't, you know, my older brother or someone was showing me those spots when I was a kid. It's always like, you know, like in New York, I guess there's for sure some with Aaron, but like I found it with Aaron. I don't know, we both found it, but like ones that now people skate that we had found that definitely were unskated. Leo and like Pulio and like Jerry and Raz and Dave Cato, like those guys are really finding most of this. Jack Sabak's another one. Oh, yeah. They're finding like Dan Pencil was another one for Jersey. Like the Coda skaters, like those guys were actually finding every spot that was in every video. I feel like I contributed like 1%, and those guys were 99% of New York spots. I'm sure Josh Stewart has found a lot, and you know, curiosity, I guess. Yeah, it's all just curiosity. But what was the second Sandro question again?
You said all the people you shot, like who's someone you wish you could have worked with more and why?
Yeah. There's definitely some. I mean, Pat Steiner, for sure. I've told him, Pat Steiner, like, I wanted to do something with, of course, he always films with Josh, they're best friends. Yeah. But I always wish I filmed way more with Pat, at least in the New York days. But he also, I should say that he didn't move to New York until I was almost done filming my videos. Because I was already, like, seeing the end of that moment. And so it was too late for him to like even be in the video, I think. I forget who I ran into, but it was the same story of like someone that I was friends with that I just never filmed with. But like, you know, the typical East Coast underground skater was always welcome in those videos, you know. It's always great to have different styles from like past from Florida and like different people from the East Coast.
And what about like outside of skating? Because you mentioned like you've done a lot of things outside of skating now, and I was watching yesterday. You worked on a piece with JR, the French artist, and yeah, I really liked that specific project. It looked really cool. But like, are there people that you've crossed paths with, like him, or other people that you wish you could maybe work again with in the future? Or
for sure. I mean, I want to work with more musicians for sure. Always love working with musicians. I got to, I've sort of in such a weird way become friendly with Andre 3000.
Oh wow!
Super random, just like Japanese friend groups, and like he's here a lot, or he comes here every year, and
okay.
Like that's someone I would love to do. We talked about doing something at one point, but it never materialized. But he's awesome. People like that. I mean, any like really curious musician, like who's obsessive, is a good subject. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy. Like any of the best, 90s rappers, or I wish I had done more with like Uptown New York. Like I shot Buck Wild and some of the like New York producers, like Large Professor and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But it would be cool to do more with them. I mean, I did. Large Pro did the score for All the Streets.
Yeah.
But so I guess I did do something. I did a lot with him. But it still feels like visually like I didn't. It would have been cool to do like a project on like not with him, but like on him would have been cool.
Okay.
So something like that, but I don't know. It's a tough one. There's so many people. It's hard.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Designers too, like designers, artists, musicians. Yeah, skaters. I feel like there weren't many that I just like never filmed with or something. That I really wanted to film with. There weren't. Yeah, it wasn't like a huge amount in the end. I wound up super thankful. Very lucky to have worked with like hundreds of amazing skaters.
Yeah. No,
Travis Stenger is one. I would have loved to do Travis or Wade, probably were the two that I would have loved to do something with. But yeah.
Just bringing it back for a second to All the Streets Are Silent. I think it's in the Slam City Skates interview. You mentioned in there that you conducted I don't remember how many, but probably over like 100 different interviews with a bunch of people for the documentary. I was wondering if you had tried to, interview people like from the Wu-Tang Clan or people like that, like really hip-hop, like there are some legendary guys in there, but like did you try, for example, you have footage of Jay-Z at a very early age on a session. Did you try to connect with people like that? But I assume it's just extremely difficult to book them and convince them to jump on a project like this. But
yeah, anyone that's featured in it had to watch the film to approve it, or we couldn't use it. So, like, for instance, Ghostface never watched it, so we had to cut his whole section of his, okay. But like, yeah, like Method Man watched it. Obviously, Busta, Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z was the one I thought he was not going to approve it or not like his tone or sound, but it wound up being super cool. But I found the Jay-Z footage, like Yuki filmed it, or Yuki's wife filmed it, the Mars nightclub owner.
Yep.
They didn't even know they had it. I found it at the end. I convinced him to give me like one more box that was unmarked, and that was on there. I think it said like New York street style rap or something, Mars. Okay. And it was Jay-Z, but he didn't know it was Jay-Z. And I was like, I didn't know Jay-Z played at Mars. He's like, what are you talking about? Because at that time, it was Jaz-O. Jaz-O was a bigger name. And Jay-Z was his like sideman, gig man. Okay. Like not a hype man, but like a kind of like a freestyle rapper he'd bring along. Then they were the originators, Jaz-O, Jay-Z. But Jaz-O was Jay-Z's mentor, I believe. And I found out later after Lil Dap from Group Home watched it, that he was there that night. I didn't look from the footage, but he was there backstage. And that's the night that DJ Premier got the name DJ Premier, which I never knew.
Okay.
Yeah, he was called Waxmaster C before then.
Wow.
And Lil Dap named him Premier. And it was all that night. And I guess someone, I forget who, gave Jay-Z his chain. And Clark Kent is the DJ, and they met that week. And then they went on to do Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, crazy Mars footage. But so that's a good example. Like, I found that footage, and then the documentary was done. And like, there's no Jay-Z interview. And it's also, what's he going to add? I mean, yes, Jay-Z's amazing, but it's like, at a certain point when you're making a film like that, it's like, it's almost more interesting to have other voices around the archival clip than have Jay-Z be like, I remember that night. It's like less interesting than people tripping on him being there or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it worked like that for a lot of those. And with the skaters, too, is the same thing. It's like, I'd much rather hear Kid Capri's definition of what the Stretch and Bobbito show is than like a New York skater explaining it. It's going to be way more interesting because of his perspective being a Bronx DJ producer from the 80s. They were coming out after, and he was the older generation. It's just the perspectives for a documentary are super, I think, undervalued when people make films like that. It's like it's like kind of a recipe, but you can get it right. The structure can be, I don't know, it can have like more impact, I guess. So I guess I gave up on interviewing like the Wu-Tang halfway through and people like that. It's just too expensive and too risky. Like, I didn't want to pay people to be in it. It feels inauthentic, Yeah. So it's like, okay, you're going to pay someone like, tens of thousands of dollars to sit down for an interview. You're shooting it on digital camera. Like, what if there's an error? You lose 10 grand or whatever, There's all these, you could, think about things like that. And then there's a rider, or there's, like the guy, person wants a limo or drugs or whatever else they ask for. And it's like, it just becomes a headache pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So tried to stick with people that were a little easier.
Manageable.
A little more manageable. Who were just down to be in it, or like Clark or someone like that, rest in peace. But, Huff, rest in peace. Like, all these amazing voices that contributed to making it what it was, but they were super easy to work with.
Again, you mentioned in there that you in this Slam City interview that you I think you had like one big portion of this whole project was going through all this archival footage and checking it out and finding these nuggets like the Jay-Z thing, and another big part seems to have been all the interviews you conducted on the site. And I think you mentioned that you did a lot of interviews, like
it was like 54, I think, was the number. I think I used 33 maybe, plus Eli's narration.
And I was curious, how did you decide like which ones to keep, which ones to cut? Did you kind of do a kind of a script for the whole documentary and then piece together with just bits and pieces from the different interviews that matched the story you wanted to tell? Or how did you kind of work with all that?
You know, it develops over the course of a 5-year period.
Yeah,
so it wasn't, there's a general idea, and then there's voices that pair with footage, and then you kind of, it just grows and grows, and then, you know, without naming names, you shoot a skater, let's say, an interview. That's a great interview, amazing interview. Mm-hmm. But then 6 months later, you shoot someone else, it could be a rapper, artist, or whatever, and it just totally, like, embarrasses the other interview. Not like on purpose. It's just like what happened. You know, it's just maybe it's enthusiasm. It could be like things like the lighting or location is way better. Or you don't want to hear a skater talking about hip hop. You want to hear someone in hip hop talking about hip hop. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you want to hear a skater talking about rap in that moment. You don't want to. It just like depends on the edit. You know. So I had tons of different clips I was auditioning and different sound bites. Like I had an interview with Akira where he talks really good. It's a really, really good soundbite about hanging out at Supreme in the back. Mm-hmm. You know, and I love Akira, but it's like, it was such an echo of what I already had. And when you remove the echoes, it makes everything else stronger. And his soundbite was too short to get across the whole point that someone like, insert name of someone in the Supreme area of the film was talking about. Yeah. Could be like Bill Strobeck even, or whoever, like, who still works for the brand. Maybe that perspective is more valid or something, you know? It's just like, it's not a personal thing at all. It's like all about like what makes the best story, and you have to remove the friendships from some of the clips, because otherwise you just use everything and then it winds up being
too much all over the place.
Just an unmemorable film. Yeah, my thing was like, I only a couple people are going to have like one quote. Everyone else will have a lot. And everyone's going to appear in the story that's another thing I should mention, just because I'm remembering. Kalis comes in at the end as a plaza skater, late 90s. Kalis is not in it when he would have been like 15 or something. It makes no sense because he wasn't friends with those people. He wasn't in that city. Grew up in Texas. Yep. You know, like he was in Philly at the time or whatever. Like, it's too removed. But then other times you want someone that's so removed, like the doorman from Mars commenting about artists is pretty interesting because he's interfacing with them a certain way. Like, it's all dependent on the way that the edit is going at that particular moment in the film where it makes sense. So Kalis comes in all the way at the end. Cool Keith is talking about how Mars was like dreamlike. Those guys I think Kalis and Cool Keith are the only two that have like one soundbite each. I think everyone else has at least two. Okay. But those two people are so important to the story and to hip hop and skating, obviously. Sure. Yeah. And obviously Kalis is like, goes without saying, like legend. Mm. So it's like, you know, they had to be in there, but they had to fit into the puzzle. They can't just be like randomly. I didn't want like, you know, Moby talking about skating or Kalis in the Mars section. Kalis being like, yo, the New York nightclubs in 91. It's like, makes no sense. And so all those things I tried to really value when I was laying it out, because in that final edit, because I didn't want it to not make sense. And I showed it to people like Stretch Armstrong when I was making it. And Stretch would be like, yo, that footage, Bobbito's talking about the third floor. You're showing the fourth floor of Mars. It's like, gotta switch it. Like, oh, wow. Okay. You know, notes like that. Like, it's super precise the whole way through. Okay. Because of people like Stretch and other hip-hop, nightclub, art, it could be like New York fashion, whatever, being like, that should go here, this should go here, because that street was this or that was happening here. It makes more sense. So I just didn't want to, and I'm the one that was like, if you're watching this, is it confusing? Is it accurate? Is it factual? Like, these are all really, really important things, because a lot of documentaries will go to Getty image search and put like a nightclub scene with a spotlight where it should be Mars or something, but there's no Mars footage on Getty or whatever. So it's like, it had to be like as authentic as possible, or I didn't want to make it. It just needed to feel right. Like, I don't want to see Akira skating Barcelona. It's a great clip. It doesn't need to be in a New York video. Yeah, it's the same philosophy. Like, it needs to be like really, really logical and factually accurate. Yeah. That's a super long answer, but
no, I love that. That's really interesting to get your perspective on storytelling and just editing and So thank you. At what point do you think you nailed down like the theme, or like the basically what it became, like the 87 till 97 convergence of hip hop and skateboarding? At what point in the whole process do you think you nailed that down? Like, okay, this is what this is.
I mean, probably about a year and a half before.
Before it was finished?
Before it came out, yeah.
Okay, wow, okay.
Yeah, and then it sort of becomes clear, yeah.
This one is from, so this guy's, his name is Ted, I don't know how you say his last name, Ted Gushue, something like that?
Gushue?
He said, Hollywood High, what did I do?
I love it. Ted on a skate podcast, hilarious. Yeah.
I tried to reach out to a few people who are like outside of skating as well, because you've done a lot of other shit outside of skating, so.
Oh, sick. Oh my God. Yeah, wow. He's coming here in like a week or something. I'm psyched to see him.
So do you have an answer to his question?
Well, it's like Owen Wilson. It's his favorite skate moment ever is the yeah right Owen Wilson, you know? Hollywood High, what did I do? Yeah. I forget what the answer is. Front blunt.
Oh yeah, Jacob made a cap out of it, right? Like front blunt, back salad.
Front
thing?
salad,
yeah.
back salad.
Yeah. Front blunt, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's from Barry Walsh.
Sick.
So it's two questions. He said, ask Jeremy about the time he was assaulted by downtown jocks in Montreal with all his camera gear. So we did mention that earlier. The second question is, ask him why he feels it's important to capture the essence over the hype. His videos are like art pieces of style and flow, crust, raw movement in the city, interesting skaters with style first over being famous, etc.
Yeah, Barry's the best. That's him. He's talking about himself. Barry and Marc are like the Montreal OGs, you know? Mm-hmm. I think DVS did a shirt with Day One, you know, like lying down, like after battling a trick at the pipe at the Big O.
Okay.
To pay homage to the Big O bastards, quote unquote, you know, the Barry and Marc's crew. Because it's really hard. Have you ever skated the Big O?
No, I haven't seen it in person. I've been to Montreal, but I haven't seen that spot, no.
It's so hard to skate that thing. But those guys, even now, like they're in their late 40s, 50s, like they're killing it. The essence over the hype, I mean, that's obvious. And I don't know. He knows. Mm-hmm. He knows the answer, and I feel like anyone listening to this knows the answer.
Yeah, sure.
But the first one, getting assaulted, yeah, I mean, it was like, there's like a 1 minute version of this and an hour long version. But the long and the short of it is we were out skating.
How old were you at when that happened?
19, maybe.
That was before you moved to New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were filming Low Def. I was out downtown with Kevin Lowry and some friends, and there were these like F1 weekend in Montreal, where like all these like, you know, Euro style dudes with the skin tight shirts and the, you know, tattoos come to town who were like, you know, the jocks, mm-hmm. you know, just like car heads, I guess. And they, you know, they were in town and out, you know, it was like 2 a.m, downtown Montreal. There's no cars, no people. We were just trying to skate this one spot that you can only skate in the middle of the night, of course. And wrong place, wrong time. Like these guys started to like, my memory of it is because we were kind of around the corner. I think Kevin Lowry had a better view of it, but they started to break a bunch of cars, including our friend Max's car from Toronto, who was visiting. Break meaning like the side mirrors were getting smashed.
Okay.
Lowry we used to call him Bulldog, or McGraw used to call him the Bulldog. I was setting up the light and whatever, and we're kind of like, we're by the skate spot, and they're warming up, not at the skate spot. We didn't want to get kicked out. Sort of across the street, down a little bit in mm-hmm. McGill. For people that know Montreal, it's like Sherbrooke and McGill, basically. Yeah, like they somehow get them. Like again, vantage point, like I'm just there with the gear, with the photographer, Casey, and they're chasing them into like a hotel rotunda. I don't know, but it's like a bunch of, I think like 2 or 3 of these guys. Mm-hmm. They get them into the hotel, And by the time we get over there, they're kind of like, I think the hotel staff has put them in like a holding room or something until the police come, because they just vandalized like 20 cars or something.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, we're just outside with all the gear. We have all, definitely had Super 8 with a bunch of film. I had 2 VXs, probably a photo camera and some disposables or whatever I had at the time. And Casey had, his Hasselblad and whatever, his Mamiya, whatever cameras he had, and flashes. Like, they're all set up, and we're like, are we going skating? Like, it was a moment where we didn't really know what was going to happen. And then all of a sudden, like a bunch of those, and this is pre-cell phones, or maybe it was flip phone, definitely no iPhone. A bunch of their friends who were also in town, or maybe people from there, I don't know, they didn't speak English or French, were coming towards us. More of these like big Euro, like F1 guys or F1 fans, they're like, let's go to Montreal and get wasted and go watch F1 type people. Yeah. So from probably Italy, or I don't know, I don't want to name the wrong kind, somewhere in Europe for sure. Okay. Could be Eastern European. And so, they start talking to us. It's like altercation style, like, we don't know what's going to happen. We can't understand what they're saying. And I don't know, there was a moment where there's a taxi, that pulls up and nothing's really happening. We're sort of just like waiting for the police. So I go to walk towards this cab and I'm like, I'm getting out of here. Like, these guys are super aggro. But it's hard to know what was going to happen, but I was also like falling asleep. I was super tired. Like, we'd been out all day, hot sun, just like 2 a.m. The cab, locks its door, like sees me and sees who's behind me, locks the door and burns the red light. And I look behind and I just see in the background Kevin Lowry and like Josh Clark. Like I think that's another thing. They had skateboards. Me and Casey, our boards are in the car. Okay. So we don't have skateboards. So that's another piece of I'm trying to remember the story. They skate off and a bunch of those dudes follow them. Okay, yeah. I think that had just happened, or that was happening as I looked behind. I forget, but it was all like a blur. But it was happening at the same time. So I'm in the middle of the street with like one of these big goons. And I'm just like, I guess I'm running like with my gear. I have my back, like a probably 20-pound backpack of, the light, the batteries for the light, like those big Frezzi batteries. Yeah. Like those, everything, like 2 VXs, whatever. And I'm just no skateboard. So I'm just like running, he's running, and we make it 3-4 streets. And I'm like, look, man, like, I don't know, like, what you want, whatever. And he just, like, knocks me out. Wow. And then he threw me down, like, 10 stairs onto the back of my head. Wow. And then I thought he was going to, like, pull out a gun or I don't know what. But I was, like, bleeding. He stomped my glasses out, so I couldn't see anything. And right when he was, like, getting near me, I remember. And then the cops came. The cops finally showed up. And then I show up, I'm like shaking, like totally shaking, blood, like probably a concussion, I don't know. Like my arm has never been the same from that fall. My left arm has like always been about, 60% compared to my right because of that fall. Oh, never got it checked out, whatever. But the tape got destroyed from that day. I'm pretty sure that footage is lost or gone. For people that know Low Def, it's the same night, I believe, that Lowry did a line with his last line where he does the back lip. I'm pretty sure it's the same night. The camera was, needed repair. I need new glasses, whatever. But I remember going back to the guys. They had come back. Some of this, I think someone else we were with, like, never came back. Like, they were just still bombing hills, being chased. Or I don't even know what. I don't know what happened, but I couldn't see anything at that point. I was like bleeding. I don't know. But I remember coming back and everyone's like, Lowry's like, what happened? Wow. Like, what happened to you? And I just remember getting in, I got in the cop car and just went back to my parents' place and just showed up like 3 a.m. Like,
did they take you to the hospital?
No, I think I was like, oh, I'm all good. They're like, yeah, man, you're all good or whatever. It's like, whatever. It's like classic skater. Like, it's just a bail. It's just 10 stairs. Like, whatever, But,
wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah, really stupid.
Shit. My God, that's horrible.
Yeah, pretty
These
bad.
Guys
But, that was
like
I don't know. There must have been some like miscommunication. I mean, they were obviously drinking or high or whatever.
Probably,
like they were breaking cars and smashing window or what.
They were looking for trouble.
Who knows what they did after? I've told the story to a few people over the years. And everyone's like, yeah, probably last night before their flight home or something. and they're just raging.
Yeah.
You know, they're like early 20s raging. You know, jocks. It's just like
wrong time, wrong place, or
yeah. But we didn't get the trick, and that spot's gone now. It was like an over the rail into a. Oh, for people that know skate videos, it's the spot that Hugo Ballack ollies over. Mm-hmm. It's into a marble kink bank. He ollies over and then goes into a bus.
Okay.
It's like a dime clip, and it's like, you know, it's in one of their videos, but that's the spot that we were trying to skate. And I think Lowry was going to back 180 it maybe, but it's pretty crazy. Pretty, like, you only get a few tries, and it's like, you could get worked on it, you know?
Yeah, I must have seen that footage, but I don't remember.
A bunch of people skate it, but it's just like, you always see like a back tail or like an ollie. You're not seeing like there's never a really impressive trick because it's really hard to skate, and it's a kick out.
Okay, so yeah, this next one is from Jimmy McDonald.
Oh, sick.
He said, which city has better bagels, New York or Montreal? Important questions.
New York, the best ones are Modern and Essa.
Okay.
Montreal, I mean, there's the three, Real Bagel, St. Viator, Fairmount, you know, classic, but they're different. The Montreal ones are a little sweeter, and it also depends when you get them. Like if you get them early in the morning when they're baked, or you get them. There's technicalities there, but I both. I mean, there's no answer. But if it's Essa, then it's both. If it's Essa and it's fresh in New York, or if it's like, I mean, most like really good bakeries in New York, if it's fresh in the morning, it's great. Mm-hmm. I just don't like New York bagels as they age throughout the day. Whereas Montreal, it's like, doesn't matter. Like they're amazing the first day. After the first day, neither of them, but it depends on, you know, it's technicality. Yeah. And it depends where you're getting them. Like there's bad bagels in both cities, you know, like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
This is an audio one. Let's see.
Yo, Jeremy, Zav here. Hope you're well. One question for you. Do you prefer photography or film?
Exav, what? How did you? That's a crazy one.
From Twin Brains Films, right? Japanese film production.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, you really did your research. That's really impressive. Exav, I just saw him yesterday.
It's hard to answer on the spot question, and probably varies, but photography or film, yeah.
No, it's simple. I mean, I love the idea of one frame, just shooting one frame, that's it. Mm-hmm. But I also love long form storytelling. You can't do that in photo, so it's like for instance, you can make a really compelling commercial film in one day. Much harder to do an amazing photo book in one day. Mm-hmm. I guess that's the perspective I have. It's kind of like you can do 8 amazing images in one day. Beyond that is like up to chance. Filmmaking, you can direct a 1 minute that's like incredible. They have their, you know, each one. It's just a really different format, but lately I've been really in love with the one frame thing, like just no very little post-production or retouching, no clearing a soundtrack or score, very little politics usually, unless you're shooting a famous building or something. Like a photo frame it didn't used to be as interesting to me as it has been the last like 5 or 10 years, I would say.
Okay.
In the 2000s, I was looking at like John Merring and Atiba, and everyone's amazing. Like those 90s and 2000s photos are incredible. But that's like 1% of photographers. Like I would try and shoot a photo, it doesn't look like theirs, you know, I didn't understand. Mm-hmm. So video was always like, oh, I could do that. Like that's like there's less like technicality with lighting and all that. And like, it just seemed easier than what they were doing. And I love the idea of like the minimalist approach of like, we're just going to shoot one frame. Mm-hmm. And I also love like 90-minute feature or 5-part series on this amazing subject or whatever it is. They're equally as cool. Yeah. But lately, as of the last like 6 months, especially photo right now, but it goes, you know, I've just done way less photo in my life than filmmaking. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I've always done photo my whole life. It's just not as seriously as it has been the last like year or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is from Jahmal Williams.
Sick. Oh, love Jahmal.
Yeah, me too. He said, what are your top 3 records on vinyl that are a must-have for a collection for jazz, reggae, and hip-hop? It's probably very hard to answer, yeah.
I mean, for jazz, I think any like really quiet piano sessions are super beautiful, like Ahmad Jamal or Duke Pearson or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then reggae, I mean, any Scientist, Roots Radix, Tubby, any of those like backing band led records are amazing, like where it's the producer as the leader, and then he's like using samples with it, so like Scientist or Tubby or Prince Jammy or something, those are amazing. For rap, I would say Eric B. and Rakim, EPMD, early Jay-Z, early Nas, NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, let's do this one.
Hey Jeremy, how's everything? What were your thoughts the first time you look at my old Morals video archive? Did you expect to find some interesting DJs and dance club footages? Let me know.
Yeah. Yuki Watanabe.
Yeah, Watanabe, yeah. Yeah, Yuki. Yeah, when we interviewed Yuki, we didn't know about the archive. I don't know if Eli definitely knew that Yuki had a camera, but I'm not sure if he knew what he had, and I don't think Yuki even knew what he had. The camera that he had and the footage that was captured, it's sort of like the Zuyur camera or something before RB moved to New York. It was like a camera that people would borrow and shoot things with. So Yuki's wife, Mayumi, would also film, and, you know, she's who filmed the Jay-Z footage that, you know, Yuki was somewhere else, or who knows if he was even there that night, I mean. But, yeah, a lot of footage got stored that he was unaware of, and so it wasn't cataloged. I mean, his stuff was super well cataloged, but not precise, so it didn't have, you know, certain people like a Jay-Z, it didn't have Jay-Z's name on it, it just said rap style, whatever, performance, so... Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to find to answer his question. I had no idea. I just knew that we needed more footage because Eli had amazing footage, but, you know, there's 300 tapes where it's, you know, people trying a line and bailing.
Yeah.
And so Yuki's footage was much more interesting for a documentary because there was almost no skating. So it's just, you know, people hanging out like a house party or at Mars or at his office, or like meeting Clark Kent or Funkmaster Flex or something like that. So that helped the story a lot. There's no way the film would be the same without Yuki's archive.
Yeah. And so for the listeners who haven't watched your documentary yet, could you just remind me and them like what Club Mars was? And I think it lasted only like a year and a half or 2 years or 3 years. Like it was a very short amount of time, it looks like, but it was a pivotal moment basically where everything kind of everybody was hanging out there, and it was it seemed like an iconic place in the early 90s.
Yeah, Mars lasted a few years, 89 New Year's until 92.
Okay.
Spring of 92. Yeah, Mars was a nightclub on West 13th and the West Side Highway in New York City. Started by a Japanese fellow named Yuki Watanabe. And he, you know, was like a curator. He had worked already in music a lot. He was helping manage and tour with Madonna before she was famous. And he helped discover a lot of artists, up-and-coming DJs, and really, like Clark Kent says in the film, he gave a lot of DJs a chance. Mm-hmm. And he really, like, just deeply cared about the DJ and the role of a DJ. And Mars was a nightclub that had many floors, and each floor would be a different vibe. So he had, like, this, like, Daisy Age party in the basement called Trip that Eli helped start with Dave Ortiz and others who wound up, you know, later on doing DQM. And each floor had a different energy, and so he would find DJs to spin on every floor. So he had Moby, Stretch Armstrong, all these people way before they were famous, Funkmaster Flex. And then he didn't really, you know, sometimes there would be people that would show up that weren't on flyers. So it was kind of like jam style, old school, like throwdown at the party. And there was already like a DJ that was, you know, his name, you know, like a DJ like Clark Kent, he was already the top, you know, sort of seen as one of the top DJs in New York at the time. Yeah. And so you had, if he was there, you never knew who was going to show up, like, you know, and certain MC could show up and who's homies with him. And yeah, it just sort of spiraled, and people found out that there was like an open mic where you could rap in New York City, because I don't think that was a thing. I mean, it was around, but not at like an official nightclub like that. And so that was a new thing, at least in the city. It was happening more in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Queens.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, people would come through and throw down. It was kind of like it's like the same way like skaters meet up at a spot like Tompkins or something. You never know who's going to show up. It's the same kind of thing. Or like comedians at a comedy club.
Yeah, definitely. And you might have said that in the movie, but do you remember why it closed down after just those few years? Like, what was the reason they had to shut down?
It's like gang violence and, like New York Post headlines and headless body found in topless bar.
Oh, wow. Okay. Damn.
It's like that kind of thing was happening.
Okay.
You know, Meatpacking District was super different. Now it's all gentrified and luxury. But for people that know 13th Street on the West Side Highway, where the Standard Hotel was the parking lot for Mars. It was like behind Mars.
Oh, it's
and
right
Mars
there.
was.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, where Mars is now, well, when I lived in New York, it was a leveled, like pavement, sort of just like dirt on the ground, like lot, like an empty lot. That I believe Google was in the process of developing. Yeah.
Let's see. This one is from Marc Tison.
Tison.
He asked a couple of things. He said, having worked with Cool Keith on all the streets, what is the funniest thing that came out of his mouth? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I'm working on other stuff with Keith, and I can't think of like something from that moment that is like super funny. But I'm sure there was a lot. He's hilarious. I'll give you a funny like Cool Keith quote. Like last time I was with him, he was getting out of the car in front of my old apartment, and he's like, "Yo, you know where I could get some bad Chinese food? Because I'm looking to get me some good rice." It's like he just speaks like his lyrics, you know.
He said, have you ever gotten angry or extremely frustrated while filming skating? I know it would drive me nuts. Like I heard you once pull the tape out of your video camera and focused it. Is that true?
Yeah, that happened all the time, at least a few times a month, if not more. It was every week, I feel like, yeah.
And then he said, what is your go-to section when you're digging for records?
Depends on the shop. Depends where I am also. Like Japan is totally different than Europe, is totally different than A1 Records in New York or wherever. Go-to section, I mean, most shops, I mean, funk and soul for sure. I mean, it could be anything. Like I was at A1 once with RZA. I was shooting a portrait of RZA. He's like, the only thing I'm missing in my collection are erotica and soundtracks. He has everything else. But he probably has thousands of erotica and soundtracks. He just feels like he's still missing like some of the holy grails in those genres. So he's constantly, digging for that.
That's where he digs first. Okay. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, him. There's a few of those producers, or like someone like Questlove. I mean, their collections are getting to be. I mean, Stretch Armstrong was at 50,000, 60,000, 12 inches. I mean, these guys have serious collections. So once you get to that level, it's like you kind of.
You open a museum or something. Wow, 60,000. How do you store that much? I mean, it's.
My God, Questlove. I think Questlove has double that or triple that. Questlove has. I'm pretty sure he has a staff person on it. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I try to keep it like 1,000, a little under 1,000. I got rid of a lot when I moved to Tokyo, but I still have about 800 or so, maybe more than 800. Wow. But
that's already
it's like
quite a bit.
Pretty. Yeah, but it's slimmed down. It's very minimal. Like there's things I can't get rid of. There's no way. Like it's like too hard to find, or it's someone gave it to me, a cinema, or like Mark. He gave me some records, or like Large Professor or whoever. Like I don't want to get rid of those ever. Like I have to.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it gets harder the more you dig to slim it down, but you have to make big decisions like, okay, no more post-punk, new wave, just delete. Like take the whole, like blindfold yourself, bring it in, trade it, get money, and then buy other stuff or whatever. But I haven't gotten there yet with certain things, but we'll see. I just don't want to ever have like 10,000. It's crazy. But I should say that Mark is a really big digger though. Like he goes on missions, and like Leo Gutman also, who I think asked the question, like,
yep.
All these guys, I mean, it's super fun to go dig. It's like, I guess it's the same thing as looking for spots or something.
Yeah, definitely. This one is from Josh Kalis.
Legend.
He said, tell Jeremy he's a genius and an amazing artist in storytelling. Then ask him to tell the story how I actually got Virgil to sign Brick on my brick, and how important the brick is to skate culture, where it came from, and how I got it.
I'll try to remember. Well, there was a moment when the banks were going to be gone for sure. The Brooklyn banks in New York were going to be gone, and I was texting with Huff a lot at that time, and it was when he was not well, but probably could have been a year before he passed. And I wanted to get a brick to him because I can't remember who it was. Someone was going to the banks and taking like 5 to 10 bricks, which is super heavy, by the way. Like that's like 5 bricks is insane. It's like 40 pounds or something. I mean, they're very heavy. They're big.
Okay.
Anyway, so like I was, a homie was going to the banks and taking bags of, or like multiple bags of bricks, and it was just every time you walk by the banks, there was more and more earth and less bricks.
Yep.
And I remember texting with Huff, and I'm like, we were talking about it, and he's like, "Can you send me one?" I was like, "Of course, like no problem." So I went in the middle of the night, and I took, I think, 4 bricks. I was planning on taking 6 or 10, and I couldn't. There's no way. I didn't want to damage it. I didn't want to like throw them over the fence because it was all closed off. It was a construction site.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's right by Police Plaza and all the police checkpoints, so it just seemed way too sketchy. So I was like, and I was not trying to be like running with 5 bricks or something. Like it seemed crazy. But yeah, I wound up taking I think 4.
Okay.
And I sent one to Huff, which was an operation and also just disgusting. And just, covered in earth and dirt and whatever else. But I sent one to Huff, and he just he's like, got the brick. All I need is 10,000 more. And then I think I was talking to Kalis, or I was just interviewing Kalis for All the Streets.
Yep.
But maybe it's hard to remember those years. I think that was earlier even, but whatever. Nevertheless, talking to Josh, and he was like, "You got an extra one?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Like, Kalis wants a brick, no problem.
Yeah.
Sent him a brick, and then I sent him a brick. And then I was also speaking with Virgil Abloh at that time. I was working on something with him that never came out.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember the connection. Basically, Josh was like, there's a lyric in I think it's like a Conway West Side Gun track where he says, "Tell Virgil, write brick on my brick." And so he was like, "Can you send it to..." I can't remember if I sent the brick to Virgil or Josh sent the brick to Virgil. But I just remember Virgil sending me his address in Chicago. I don't remember if I sent it to Josh, then he sent it to Virgil and then sent it back to Josh. But either way, Virgil wrote brick on the brick. And then Josh posted like, "Virgil wrote brick on my brick," because Josh is like a huge hip hop fan, and you know, I mean that's basically it. But I don't remember the chain of events. You have to ask Josh. But that's a good question. But it was a fun moment of like mail tag and trying to like just take something from the banks, like a brick that every legendary skaters rolled on for however many years. Yeah. And to be able to have that, and Virgil was a huge fan of skating, so it just felt like it was cool, and they knew each other, and it was that's so crazy how that happened. I don't know. It was just because I wanted to take bricks from the banks, and if it wasn't for Huff wanting one, I don't know maybe I would have taken one, but I think it was just because Huff wanted one.
Well, I have a question that's linked to that. Actually, Steve Rodriguez shared a question, and he said, with the Brooklyn banks reopening and all the stories coming out of it, what was your best memory of the Brooklyn banks back in the day, or in your day?
The banks. My best memories going to the banks were probably in 2003 to 5, when I would go skate there with friends from Montreal and meet people like Rodney Torres and German and Billy Rohan and Taji and Leo and all those guys. That was like a super special time for me. Way later, after people stopped skating there as much. It wasn't very busy, and it was only the big banks. Small banks, I think, was a parking lot at that time. Okay. Or they were under construction or something, but I never skated the small banks. I think after 9/11, I'm pretty sure it got like something in that zone got switched with the barriers and something. You couldn't skate there. The only thing you could skate at the small banks was the manual pad that Jake Johnson skates in Minefield and Lowry skates in Elephant Direct. I don't remember. Someone skates it in Chapman, I think. Maybe Luke Mulaney skates it. It's a concrete manual pad, probably a foot high, but it's got a wood. It's sort of like a wood top on it.
Is it the Jake Johnson clip? Is it a nollie back 180 switch nose Manny and then
that
switch
spot.
Wally. Yeah. Okay.
That spot, yeah. So that's at the Small Banks. Yeah.
Okay.
That's like if you're filming that manual pad, behind you is the Small Banks.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, but you couldn't skate the Small Banks, which I remember when I filmed there with Lowry, it was 2008 or 9. It was right before the banks got shut down. And it was that's the clip in Elephant Direct. And I remember thinking like we were going to get tickets or something. Like it wasn't really that skatable at that time. Like there was so much police presence and construction. It was kind of dodging, authority to try to get something. It was way, way past it being like a mecca for skating. It was sort of dead, it felt like at that time.
Okay.
But my memories are just early 2000s going down there, mid 2000s and filming there. But I remember thinking, I didn't film there much because I remember thinking like there's nothing I could possibly film that's better than what's been done. And I didn't really focus much on it. And looking back, I probably should have filmed more. But then it should be said that when I was going there a lot, it was right around the time that there was like a New York DC tour video. That was 06 or 05. Kalis as a switch big spin heel off a thing. They had put all this sort of skate park like obstacles throughout, and it just wasn't as cool to film anymore there.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
And there was like the thing on the big bank, like the sort of like two big stair like metal platform they put on the like a sort of like a skate park element. I don't know. It's just not as cool on footage.
Yeah.
It's just like the regular spot, but. So I didn't film there as much because it seemed like I didn't want to film skate parks, and it was sort of like a hybrid thing. But now it's cool. It's like fully restored and it looks way more like it used to, which is super dope. It's actually shocking that it happened because it just seemed like it would just get turned into like AstroTurf at one point, or like they would just turn it into a regular public space, not something intended for skating.
Yeah.
So it's amazing that Steve was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Huge props. I can't wait to roll around there next time in New York.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, Jer. Hope you're well. This has me thinking back to a lot of fond memories I have of you and the times we spent together. We were quite young, just kind of roaming around the East Coast with no responsibilities, and how we both kind of instantly clicked on our vision of skating and spots and, what kind of stuff we wanted to watch. But yeah, just thanks for chasing me around endlessly in the streets for so many years. Can't thank you enough. I guess my first question is, do you keep up with skating? Are you watching many videos these days? What's your take on the current state of skating and somewhat death of full-length videos? Looking back on your work, is there anything that you would change? And lastly, did you ever get that hard flip manual? It's not too late. Hope you're well.
Yeah, Kevin Lowry.
Yep.
Hard flip manual, no. Definitely never got that. I didn't battle that as much as other ones, but I always wanted to do that one. Current state of skate videos and anything I would change in my old videos. Elephant Direct, there are two big problems with it looking back. I mean, three if you include the titles. The main one is the montage should have been a different song, but it got used in the Green Diamond video maybe 6 months before I finished it or less. Mm-hmm. And it felt like I didn't want to disrespect Rob, who made the Green Diamond video and later would do Alzheimer's. And it felt like I didn't want to be that guy to use a song that had just come out. Mm-hmm. And I know it was like an underground video, but mine was also an underground video, so it seemed like huge. Just didn't want to disrespect.
Sure.
So I switched the song last minute to a Brian Jonestown Massacre song. It didn't work with the rest of the soundtrack at all, and I kind of knew that, but I sort of panicked, and it was last minute. And they needed to get the DVDs done for Color Magazine with Sandro.
Okay, yeah.
And there was just I remember I had to finish the video way before I had finished the previous video, Low Def. Because of the distribution, it had to get packed. Adidas was involved. It had to get bundled it came shrink wrap in the magazine.
Yeah.
So I had to make a pretty quick decision. I think it was like a 2-day decision, and I was stressing super hard. I didn't know what to put, and there weren't the other songs I wanted for it weren't working with the footage, and I would have had to either cut a lot of footage. It just wasn't. I had to it was a bit of a Band-Aid. So looking back, I don't love that But I love a Jonestown Massacre. I just feel like it doesn't fit with the rest of the soundtrack.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's one. The other one was pretty. I was pretty heartbroken, but I had to give a good minute to 2 minutes of footage of McGraw's to different projects, including Strange Brew and Western Edition video and like the Raw videos. And it just, McGraw would have had, I mean, his part was amazing, like incredible. But if you look at the other footage from that era that he had, if you were to add it all together, it just would have been more McGraw in one
Even
spot.
better.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. It went with the song, it was all good, but there was like, especially like there's this one blunt slide he does over this grass gap, and it would have just been one of his last tricks, and I had to give the clip away. It was like the first feeling, like at that time I was filming a lot with like Ryan DeCenzo, people like that, and giving it to Globe, but I was filming him for the project, whereas the McGraw moment, it was more heartbreak because I was filming it and then later on deciding to not keep it, even though it was like a perfect trick. So, those are two things that were, that I would change probably. The rest of the videos, not really. I don't think there's anything major issue. I mean, Poisonous Products, I filmed a little bit too close on some of those lines, but that's basically it. Otherwise, just typography and font choices throughout all the videos. Was never satisfied with that, and it led me to go really deep into graphic design after the fact to try to just learn more about graphic design, because I feel like I was learning about it in the moment. I didn't like how the animations look or the typography, so that was always like something I would have got if I could go back and change. That would be one of them. But otherwise, I mean, the skating was good. I didn't use any hippie jumps or like illegal tricks or any like weird, like trendy lip slide switch crook tricks, or try not to use any double flips or dolphin flips or anything. So I cut a lot of like really quote unquote insane tricks that probably most editors would have used. I was just like, there's no way I'm putting that in the video.
Okay.
And then do I watch skate videos now? Of course, I watch pretty much everything that I can tolerate. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, Lowry was asking the state of things. I mean, it's just like a video will come out that, a video part that obviously the person worked on for, let's say, a year or 2 years. That's a serious video part. And there's multiple tricks in the part that have been done 20 years ago at the same spot when it was, before it was even bondoed or whatever. And it's just like, I just don't understand that. That's the one thing that kind of irks me, but...
Yeah, for sure.
So I think there's a lot of laziness, especially in New York. There's 10 to 20 spots, everyone skates, and then unless you're Tyshawn, you're going up them or something, but there's 10 to 20 spots downtown, people session, and there's another 10 to 20 in between each spot that no one touches for whatever reason, and they just keep going to the same spots over and over again. It's like, it's just, I don't know, it's pretty boring to watch, but...
Yeah.
Unless it's a plaza or something, but if it's a very specific spot, it's like, there's so many of them, just go 5-0 the next thing. Why are you going, I don't know, that I don't get. But then, there's certain skaters where it's just always amazing. There's a lot of Grant Taylor, a lot of those guys on FA or hockey, or honestly, like the Palace guys and a lot of the Supreme guys, and I mean, everything's amazing. It's just a lot of the other noise is just like, Baker's awesome. There's certain companies that just always get it right, and they make those key decisions. Because you have people like Reynolds or Lev and Tori or whoever at these brands to like really be like, no, it's whack, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's sort of like the other, it's just better curation, I guess. Yeah, like, I can watch Lucas Puig skate a double-sided curve all day, but, I can't watch, another skater skate a handrail for a video part or something.
Okay, let's do this one. This one is in 2 parts, so I'll play you the first part.
All right, Jeremy, it's 2025. For some insane reason, you're making a new independent skate video. What camera or cameras are you going to shoot it with? How are you going to release it? And name one skater that's going to be featured that still hasn't had that key part that he or she needs to have.
Did you recognize who that was?
Josh Stewart.
Yes.
I'm thinking of a skater that didn't have a part, a great, like a main.
That's hard, yeah.
I mean, like, it's tricky because it's a skater who's still killing it now who's never had a part. That's what makes it hard.
Yeah.
Paul Sehom.
Oh, yeah.
I would say Paul Sehom, VX, all New York or SF part would be sick. He kills it. Yeah. He's like 6'5", back nose bunning, like 100 miles an hour, really sick. Best style. Paul Seum. Yeah.
Oh yeah, good answer.
My old roommate.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Chinatown.
Yeah. I saw that you guys lived together for a bit. Yeah. And yeah, what about the rest? Like the camera and how are you gonna release it? Like, do you have any?
I mean, VX, internet. I don't know, like but properly ingested VX, not like looking like a potato. But like, I would probably have to buy whatever the rig Ty has in his editing bay. The one he did the Yeah Right tapes with looks so good. Or all those old transfer videos. The color is way better. It blew my mind the first time he showed me that thing. Oh my god, it's like no wonder those videos look so good. It's just that machine, that pro Sony machine he uses is incredible.
All right, let's do the second part from Josh.
Okay, and then while working on All the Streets Are Silent, what was the one big hurdle or like biggest win that helped really get the documentary over the finish line? Something that maybe you never anticipated being so difficult, but now it's kind of something like a big lesson learned for future documentary work. All right, thanks guys.
It's tough questions.
Yeah.
I mean, the Stretch Armstrong interview was huge, and Mike Hernandez. Those came after or during COVID. They were really late. Those were massive. But I mean, that's not really transferable for like advice for documentary filmmakers. But those were like those key interviews in the end. Fab Five Freddy also. I think it was Fab Five Freddy, Hernandez, and Stretch were the final 3 interviews I did.
Okay.
And they were like 3 of the best ones, probably. The hardest ones to edit. Just there's so much good stuff.
Yeah.
Hernandez was really close with Harold, and Stretch obviously really close with Eli and others, and it was super important to get them on camera and add to the story. They really filled in the gaps. But I mean, Yuki's footage that was really early on, but getting that footage, there's no way that the film would not be the same without that.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in terms of advice for finishing films, it's like just make sure to get as much footage as you possibly can before you edit, because it just makes it, yeah.
All the more better, yeah. Okay, let's see.
Jeremy, it's your old friend Jacob. I would really love to hear you talk about your move to Japan. I think, creative people tend to feel, or at least I feel, like you sort of establish yourself in a place and you get into a rhythm, and the place kind of supports the rhythm and you build that rhythm. And it really felt like you just decided to move to Japan. And I'm sure there was a lot of thought and a lot of feeling behind that. But how did you navigate, continuing to create and find your rhythms, in a new place? And just what was that process like? Good, bad, and ugly, and exciting. But, I think it's great. I'm so stoked you did that, because I think it's important to see artists and creators doing that. So I'd love for you to dig in. Take care.
Jacob. Rosenberg. Japan. I mean, yeah, I've been coming to Tokyo since 2017. And each time, meeting more people and seeing more of the city for months at a time, I should say. I wasn't coming here for a week or 2 at a time. It was like months. And then I didn't come for a couple of years during COVID, and that was really hard to not be here. And then I came back with Yuki Watanabe to release the film in theaters here. And yeah, I think that was a trip. It was one of those trips that just like, I have to figure out a way someday to live here. I was having a lot of health issues in New York, and every time I come here, they'd magically, disappear or just were not as in my face.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like a mix of a few things. I didn't have the clarity of thought in New York anymore that I used to. And maybe that's because I was living on 14th Street, which is not exactly the most
peaceful
quiet street in the city.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find even, it got to the point where every year less and less of each day where I felt like I could think clearly. And every time I come here, it was the complete opposite. It's complete silence. You know, there's very little pollution. There's no noise at all. There's no honking horns. There's no idling trucks. There's no garbage trucks. There's a lot of things that just, you know, that don't exist here. And so that was a big part of it. I also have a lot of really good friends here, and there's a production company I work with here, developing films with. And so, I don't know, I just had a lot of trust, and it just felt like there was a future here. And New York, with the rising prices of rent and not being able to afford having a studio anymore, I was combining it with my home. It just wasn't going in the right direction. It was just, it was being reduced every year. Like my ability to like dream about a new project or a new series of something or whatever it was. And even client work, I'd really like, you know, phone rings, hey, can you do this commercial, whatever. It's like, cool. It's okay. I got to find a quiet space. Like, it's pretty hard, you know? And I was sort of, you know, it's like you sit in a cafe and the drink is $8, and like you come to Tokyo, everything is so affordable, and so it's all super quiet, and it also, of course, is attracting people from all around the world internationally who come here to find a similar thing. And so it just was like, if I'm going to move somewhere else, there's no way I'm moving like upstate New York or Europe or something. I'm going to just go to Japan. Yeah, it kind of went in that way. But to answer his question also, it's like also, you know, there's a lot of like, I guess, hope for the future, and it feels like I can do anything here, which is great, or anywhere in the world, and I can actually get it done and not feel the level of stress and anxiety I had in New York. Yeah, I've been able to do, I think I recognized that I was doing less and less work each year. And I just didn't like that. I didn't like that feeling. I wasn't, you know, satisfied. Here, I can really get more done, whether it's photo or a feature or a commercial, whatever it is. And also just the you know, there's an expression in New York, like the faucet's on all the time. Yep. You know? Okay. Yep. Here it's off. It's the opposite. So there's no pressure. Like if I really am not in the mood, I wake up not in the mood to work, I can go to like one of the best gardens or museums in the world or a record shop or whatever, and just not feel like I have to, you know, like send 27 emails to try to pay rent or something. Like I don't have that feeling anymore. And when the feeling is gone, the pressure's completely gone. And so now it's like, okay, rent is affordable. Cost of living is like an eighth of New York. It's kind of like, the yen is also low, which is a big part of it, but it's still, it's an incredible feeling to wake up and also I should say sleep through the night, never get woken up. You know, like I was really not sleeping well in New York for like a year or two. I felt crazy. I was having terrible migraines. I was just like breathing problems and all sorts of like having procedures done, like things that I shouldn't, like all these things that used to happen that were just happening on an ongoing basis don't happen anymore. And it's so nice to feel like I'm healthy again, you know? And so, for sure. Yeah, that was a huge factor. But of course I miss all my friends in New York and family and all the rest of it, but it's also nice to have like it feels like just like a new life or something. It's cool. Yeah. No, I mean, it seems like it was a good decision for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of inspiration and new language and a lot of input, and it's just constant like design, fashion, music, film, whatever inspiration every single day. New York, I was pretty like it just was harder to find that. Yeah. Unless you're gonna like party every night and not care about the honking horns and the rest of it. But I was just like super affected by that, and it just wasn't for me. I lived there for 15, 16 years. So. Yeah, I mean it's already quite a big, significant amount of time. So it's just the end of a cycle. It's tough. I still love New York. I just don't love what New York has become these days. But I still love New York. Yeah, of course. The idea of New York and what it represents and the artists and the people that I attribute with the city, in my head, this like perfect vision of New York City, it actually doesn't exist. I start thinking of all my favorite people from New York, or who I used to associate with like living on a certain street corner or bumping into. They're not there anymore. So I think it's probably age. It's probably it's a few things that contribute to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the idea I have in my head of the city is actually not reality. I'm living in my head it's one way, and then I go there, I'm like, oh yeah, this is not why I wanted to come here.
Yeah.
There's parts I love, like of course bumping into people and going to, X place, but it's just really hard. It's a city you have to be extremely wealthy to like, survive there. And
for sure.
I was tired of trying to survive there.
No, I understand. Yeah. I have just two last ones. This one is from Bradley Shepard. 2 questions. It said, what's your favorite Harold Hunter quote? And after living in Japan and New York, where would you consider living next?
I'm pretty content living here. Bradley was actually just here.
Okay.
Yeah, he was here for, I think, like a week with a couple of our friends from Vancouver. What was the first question again?
A favorite Harold Hunter quote.
Oh, Harold. I mean, I didn't know him. It's, it's sort of like what he says in footage, or there's a story to that. So basically, as I was making the film, I was talking to a lot of people who knew Harold and were close to him or roommates with him or whatever. And one of the people is my homie Fyfe, Scott Fyfe, who's also from Montreal, but he was Flo for Zoo or Am in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
He has tricks in Vicious Cycle and some of those old Zoo, EST probably. Fyfe and RB, and I think maybe Supa, a few of those guys were working on a calendar, like one of those desk calendars where you have like the first of the month, second of the month, third of the month, and each day you turn, it's a different Harold Hunter quote.
Oh, wow.
And but it was unfinished. They did 290 or something. They didn't have 365. But he sent it to me when I was working on the film, and it's hilarious. I don't know if it'll ever come out, but I know that they would just be in the van with him and on zoo trips, and they'd be stalking the quotes.
Yeah, writing them down. That's awesome.
Yeah, the best Harold quotes, you'd have to ask Dave Ortiz and BC and probably, definitely Jeff Pang, definitely Eli, but Ortiz has the craziest. I think they were tighter maybe, or like outside of skating, and Hernandez too. Probably Mike Hernandez and Ortiz have the best Harold quotes, but there's a million. It just feels weird because like I didn't know him, so it's weird.
Yeah.
Like I met him once and that was it. It's just. Oh, Billy Rohan, that's another person you got to interview.
Oh, yeah.
Have you done Billy or no?
No, I've DM'd with him here and there for other interviews, but yeah, no, I'd love to do one with him.
Ask him a Harold quote. He'll give you 100 probably.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. You said you met him in Montreal. Do you remember what year you crossed paths with him?
It must have been right before he passed away. It was an Am Getting Paid contest. I think Nigel was probably 8 years old or something and winning it.
Wow. Okay.
Or I don't know. I'm saying 8 years old, but he was tiny. He was like the size of like a mini fridge or something.
Yeah.
Like super small with dreads. He was doing heel flip front board. I remember on the rail.
Already ripping. Yeah.
He didn't have pop yet, but he was ripping. Harold was there. He was wearing like one of those, not a top hat, but like a brimmed, like a fedora, I guess. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that a fedora?
I think so.
Yeah, like the brim. Yeah, he's wearing one of those, like a black fedora, and I just met him for 2 seconds, but yeah, he was friends with Raj from Montreal, who was like distributing Zoo for Canada.
Yeah, Raj Mera, what's his last name? Mera? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Harold was there, but it might have been, I want to say it was 2006, but I think Harold, it would be like the year he died maybe? I gotta look that up. But he wasn't skating, no board though.
Was just hanging out, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it up with this last question.
Jeremy, it's Greg. I have a couple of questions for you. Also, hope you're doing well out there in Japan. My questions for you are unrelated. My first question is, you've been a part of a lot of really interesting projects over the years, and you've shot a lot of different types of things, documentaries, skateboarding, all kinds of stuff. What is the biggest blunder you've ever made? Was it reverse recording a line, not recording the audio of a really epic interview? What was it? Those are usually good stories. And my second question is, if you could make a documentary on any living person, what would it be? All right. Thank you very much. Hope you are well. Talk to you later.
Biggest blunder you've ever made?
Yeah, there are two moments that come to mind. One was on a Creation tour in Montreal, Creation Skateboards. I filmed Brian De La Torre kickflip over a rail, and I really, I was maybe like too inspired with like framing tricks a certain way at that time, and didn't pay attention to the sort of the larger, the clip should have been, camera should have moved, you know, further beyond where he was rolling. And so it didn't look like a hill enough. He was kickflipping over a rail into a bank in Montreal. And I mean, I filmed it, but like I should have filmed it differently. And I remember the team manager was not happy. And they basically kicked me off the thing after that.
Oh, no way.
When I did that, yeah. And then Lebeau actually, he went in after, I think the following day they just like hit up Lebeau, and then Abear, rest in peace, Dave Abear.
Yeah.
Homie. I remember him calling me being like, dude, I'm so sorry, like that trick, like that's a big trick to kind of like, you know, to film it like that, like we gotta use a different filmer, you know. I felt like I really messed up. And so yeah, that was like one. That was spring. I think it was May 07, I want to say. And then the other one was Brian Weary, who was in the Green Apple videos. Weary, really good, lots of pop. Weary did a trick warming up that wound up being a sequence, like double page sequence, table of contents. He did it like, I think first or second try. I was still getting the color balance, and I didn't record it. That hurt because I remember wanting, maybe I might be wrong, but I don't think I ever filmed tricks in those Green Apple videos. Maybe filmed something, but not of like a main part. It would have been a montage or something.
Okay.
So it would have been cool. Weary had the sickest, I think he skated to like, I don't know, Ice Cube or something. I don't remember, but it would have been really sick to have a Weary trick at that time, because those videos were super good, like Supper's Ready, and it probably would have been in Supper's Ready, but no footage, and he couldn't do it again, or we got kicked out, or something happened. Those are the only two, which I guess is not so bad because I've filmed like 10,000 different skate tricks, but those are the two that really come to mind that were like mess ups, both in Montreal, both with people that don't live in Montreal. I don't think it ever happened in New York. It makes you tougher, I guess, or it makes you like, it's really good. We haven't talked about fails much, but I've spent a lot of my life on projects that have never come out and that won't come out. But those are super important because it just makes everything else better when they actually do it.
For sure.
Yeah, like especially in the last 5 years, I've failed super hard on a lot of big projects, and it's like, it's just good because all the small ones are so much easier after that. It's like training or something. It's like, what was the other question? Greg's second part?
A documentary of any living person. Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to do a Cool Keith one. It's been 2 years and I'm still figuring that out, but I'm hoping that it can happen one day. But I mean, we signed him to like an exclusive doc agreement. So we have 18 months to develop it. And the 18 months are over, I think, at the end of this year. So hoping if we can get funding and sell it by the end of this year, that we could enter production, and it could take 1 to 3 years or 4 years to make it.
Okay. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, but he's amazing. His archive is amazing. But yeah, Cool Keith is a sick one. I'm trying to think of like characters. I think a Dev Hynes one would be really sick from Blood Orange, because he's like so involved with classical and hip hop and Blood Orange and composing scores for films, and he just like rides around New York on a city bike and records sounds and then makes amazing music. Like someone like that would be cool. His personality, I don't think he'll ever do that, but I mean, maybe he'll have a change of heart. But Dev is really sick. He's like to me, he's like the modern day like Prince kind of person, because he's like ghostwriting, composing. He sort of can play every instrument. He's just like around. He's just always working. Like, I don't know, really helping artists. Like, he's kind of like Prince vibes a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And like you said, it takes a long time to put together a whole project like this. Like from having an idea to do a documentary to actually completing it and releasing it, it's a long, long process. So you need to be patient.
Yeah, the first time we talked about it was 2018, and it's 7 years later, and I haven't shot anything yet. You know?
Yeah. But then, I get it probably just needs this little kind of ignition thing, and then once you get started, then it will probably go a lot quicker. But
My goal is to spend a week or two, to carve out a week or two this summer, somewhere in this month, ideally, because I'm going to be traveling, to just sit down and like no phone, no internet, nothing, and just finish the deck I have to pitch it.
Okay.
And there's a few people out here that could potentially fund it, but it would be really sick to do that one. Yeah, he's awesome.
Okay. Yeah. Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the next 3 to 4 years something will come out.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thanks, man. Great questions, and yeah, thanks for having me on. It's that Ave episode is so good.
That's it for my conversation with Jeremy. Visit his website elkineditions.com to check out some of his previous work, including his skate videos as well as All the Streets Are Silent, and follow him on Instagram at Jeremy Elkin to keep an eye on his upcoming projects. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon for a new episode of Beyond Boards.